Very good afternoon to you and welcome to today's edition of the Lunchtime News. I'm Nadim Majid. Let's first take a look at your headlines. The estate populace holds demonstrations against the fuel price hike. Signs of an increase in the price of bread. The new Maldivian president says elections could be held ahead of schedule. On to those stories in detail. President Mahinda Rajapaksa, who is currently on an official visit to Singapore, attended a function organised by the National University and South Asian Education Foundation. According to the President's media unit, a large number of representatives from various fields attended the event. President Mahinda Rajapaksa, who addressed the gathering, has explained the current situation of the country and the investment opportunities available. He had also explained the concessions made available through the Board of Investment to investors. Protests are being staged in several areas by estate workers, including in Muskelia and Thalokale. The protests are being held against several issues, including the increase in fuel prices.
The estate workers are protesting against the price hikes in kerosene and electricity. One of the protesters said that with the current salaries they are receiving, it is difficult for them to survive. According to our correspondents, many estate workers have abstained from work and tea factories have been affected. However, estate workers from Norwood are not participating in these protests. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Economic Development says that the kerosene subsidy will be provided to each household that does not have electricity from the 19th of this month. In a communique, it said that the Samruddhi stamp would be given not only to Samruddhi beneficiaries but also to any household which does not have electricity based on a certificate from the Gram Seva officer.
Meanwhile, the All Island Bakery Owners Association says that with the increase in fuel prices, the price of a loaf of bread will have to be increased by between 3 and 6 rupees. Now, the chairman of the association, N.K. Jayawardena, stated that a special discussion in this regard is being held today.
The All Island Bakery Owners Association points out that with the increase in fuel prices, production costs have also increased, placing a strain on the industry. Chairman of the association, N.K. Jayawardena, says that the government was to provide a fuel subsidy for bakeries, then they would reconsider increasing prices. Speaking News First, Jayawardena said that with the fuel price hike, electricity costs had also increased, making it difficult to maintain the industry. Therefore, he said that the price of a loaf of bread would have to be increased by between 3 and 6 rupees, and the prices of all other bakery products would also have to be increased. He added that if a fuel subsidy was provided, then prices would not have to be increased and the public need not be further burdened. When we made inquiries, the Secretary to the Ministry of Internal Trade and Cooperatives, Sunil Sirisena, said that if prices were to increase by a substantial amount, then the ministry would intervene.
On a separate note, a special investigation has been launched to look into the allegations levelled at the Water Supply and Drainage Board regarding yesterday's incident where 2 children were killed after an earth embankment collapsed onto their house in Wallimada. Assistant Manager of the North Central Province, Ruan Lianage, stated that the investigation will be headed by an additional secretary of the Water Supply and Drainage Board. Now, charges have been levelled that a leak in a nearby underground pipeline had caused this earth slip. Ruan Lianage stated that the underground pipeline was one bearing a circumference of 3 inches. Investigations were conducted into the pipe over the past few days. He added that the assistance of the National Building Research Organisation will also be sought for this purpose. 2 children died when the earth embankment collapsed onto a house early last morning. The Election Secretariat has taken measures to conduct a special study to set up election centres for the upcoming election in the Pudukudirupu and Maritime Pattu Pradeshiya Sabhas in the Mullaitivu district. Additional Commissioner of Elections RMAL Ratnayaka said that the study would be headed by the Deputy Commissioner of Elections of the Northern Province and the Mullaitivu District Secretariat. During the study, places will be identified for voting centres to be set up. The places will be later made known through a Gazette notification. The Additional Commissioner of Elections added that centres which were used previously for elections have been destroyed during the war. For a while now, the state of the Deniaya entrance road to the Singharaja Reserve, a World Heritage Site, has been in a ruinous state. Area residents say that in order to develop tourism at the Singharaja Reserve, which attracts a large number of foreign and local tourists, the road needs to be developed. However, they say that despite informing the relevant authorities about this, there has been no response. Although there are several roads via which one could enter the Singharaja Rainforest Reserve, the easiest road to take for tourists arriving from tourist zones like Hikkadua, Unawatuna, Mirissa and Tangol is the Deniaya Mederipitiya Road. The state of the 5-kilometre stretch of this road from Pallegama to Mederipitiya has been ruinous for close upon 2 years now. In addition, the road provides transport facilities for residents of several surrounding villages. They say that although reconstruction work was undertaken some time ago, the work was of a poor quality, forcing residents to put a halt to it. Since then, no further measures have been taken. Area residents add that the bus service which operated on this road has also ceased due to the poor state of the road. They point out that except for tractors and three-wheelers, other vehicles cannot travel on this road. They add that the tea industry is also being affected by the failure to reconstruct this road.
Many people very much want to come here. It's a very special, beautiful place, but it's very difficult because the road is very bumpy and it's very difficult to come here, which makes it very difficult for tourists and less money for people here and less people able to see the forest.
We made inquiries from the chairman of the Kottapola Pradeshiya Sabha in this regard. This road comes under the Road Development Authority. Measures have been taken to lay concrete on roads in extremely rural areas, and I believe that with the assistance of the Deputy Minister of Public Administration, the Provincial Council and the grants made this year, measures will be taken to carpet this road. A small child has died after being run over by a tractor in the Iginiangoda area in Bibila this morning. The police said that the tractor had come from a by-road and hit the child. The child had been just 2.5 years old. The police added that the unfortunate accident had occurred when the child, upon hearing the tractor, had run onto the road to catch a glimpse of it. The magisterial inquiry is being conducted by the Bibila acting magistrate. The driver of the tractor has been arrested. Meanwhile, the Navy has discovered a stock of conch shells which were being stored illegally on the Kandakulia beach in Kalpitiya. A total of 11,000 conch shells have been discovered. The conch shells have been handed over to the Puttlam District Fisheries Office by the Sri Lanka Navy. The Assistant Director of the office, Anura Jayasekara, said that the conch shells which had been discovered were each less than 70 millimeters in diameter. Now, Jayasekara said that the value of the stock of conch shells has not been determined as yet. He said that with or without a license, it is illegal to catch, possess, store or transport conch shells which are less than 70 millimeters in diameter. The Sri Lanka Human Rights Commission says that the problems pertaining to the GCE advanced level examination results have been directed to a judge of the Supreme Court for examination. Its legal secretary Nimal Punchihewa said that the commission has received over 200 complaints in this regard. However, the completion of investigations into these complaints have been temporarily halted. Punchihewa noted that investigations have been halted due to the ongoing case pertaining to the A-level results before the Supreme Court. In some cricket news, rain has delayed play in a tri-series match between Australia and Sri Lanka, which is being played at the Sydney Cricket Ground.
Australian skipper Ricky Ponting won the toss and elected to bat first. Lasith Malinga struck early when he removed David Warner with a slower ball for 13 runs.
Nicely played. First boundary of the Australian innings. Slow delivery. he's done it.
Parviz Maroof made his presence felt on his return to the team when he caught a mistimed shot by punting off his own bowling for 2 runs.
Got him. Lovely slower ball from Maroof.
Matthew Wade was run out for 15 runs.
Trouble here, trouble, and it's another one. What a great piece of fielding. Pereira, the fielder, and Sri Lanka are really getting amongst these Australians.
Michael Hussey was caught behind for 13 runs.
And Hussey's got to go, so
Peter Forrest was then caught by Angelo Matthews in the slips of a Maroof delivery for 16 runs. Australia lost wickets at regular intervals and were in deep trouble with just 88 runs on the board for 6 wickets in 26 overs when rain stopped play.
Well, after play resumed a short while ago, Australia were 89 runs for the loss of 6 wickets in 27.3 overs. Also, play has been reduced to 41 overs in this match. Moving on to more news, former Sri Lanka captain Duleep Mendis says that when he was part of the squad, the team was selected by the selectors. However, he says that it is sad to see that the cricketers now select the selection panel. The former Sri Lanka cricket captain said this when Sports First made an inquiry about Sri Lanka completing 30 years in Test cricket.
I think it has been over 30 years from the first official test we have played at the Oval. I think there was a problem at that time because we were not quite used to playing 5-day cricket, and even the Premier tournament we had over 2 days and 3 days. So because of that, we did not know how to get to the 4th day and the 5th day. I think by the result of this first test match, we could always realize, we could always see that we did not have the experience to go to the 4th day and the 5th day. So many things have improved, which is a very good thing for cricket. But unfortunately, there is one sad thing. The time we played, the selectors selected the players to play in matches, but unfortunately now, the players select the selectors who should be there.
In basketball news, Colombo District beat Hambantota District in their fixture in the 49th National Basketball Championships yesterday.
The preliminary round match was played at the St. Joseph's College Nugegoda courts. Colombo District led 24 points to 15 at half-time. The lads from Colombo scored 27 more points in the second half. However, Hambantota District, who played well in the second half, scored 30 more points. Colombo District managed to hold on the lead and won the match 51 points to 45.
Sonu Nigam, an artist who has won over fans around the world, arrived in Sri Lanka to perform at his maiden concert in the island tomorrow. MTV MBC networks are the media sponsors of this event.
Sonu Nigam arrived at the Bandaranaike International Airport early this morning.
In the minds of Indians, Sri Lanka is like mythologically also very important, so very significant and very, very highly geared and prepared for the concert. This is going to be one of our most significant, important shows of our lives. This is a very serious moment for us.
Sonu Nigam, born on the 30th of July 1973 in India, is an Indian playback singer. He is the voice behind more than 1,400 Indian movie songs that have captured the hearts of many. Some of these include Suraj Hua Maddam from the movie Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham, Kal Ho Na Ho, Kabhi Alvinda Na Kehna, Piu Bole from Paranita, and All Is Well from the movie Three Idiots.
And on that note, we wrap up today's edition of the Lunchtime News. It's been a pleasure having you with me. Join us again on Live at 55 at 1:55 for the facts and figures on the latest headline-making news, as only News First can deliver.